Hey guys, welcome to Great Learning. 2021 seems to be the year if you're looking forward to upgrading your career in the world of information technology. Why is the case? Well, with the job prospects for almost all the domains portraying a positive steady climb up the job charts, it becomes super important that you guys spend quality time working on your tech skills. The skills that are discussed in the video are not only vital to learn but also equally important when it comes to using them to upgrading your career in the year 2021. As learners, it becomes crucial for all of you all to ensure that you have all, if not most of the skills in your arsenal here. Well, excited to see these skills and master them? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head straight in and understand these skills with the domains such as cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, project management, and a lot more. Let's go.
Before we get started, I want to introduce you to Great Learning Academy. This is a free initiative by Great Learning where you can have access to over 200 plus courses with 1000 plus hours of free content on all of the trending high demand domains absolutely free. Register now to complete the course and get your free certificate of completion as well. Check out the link in the description box of the video below for more details. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. This is done to make sure you do not miss out on any of the new updates or video releases from Great Learning. And of course, guys, if you enjoy this video, show us some love and do like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, right? So make sure you share this video with your friends, colleagues, and everyone who can make use of it. And at the end of it, make sure to comment on the video if you have any queries or any suggestions, and I'll be more than happy to respond to all of your comments.
Alright guys, without further ado, let's get started with this top 10 list, right? On number 10, we have DevOps. Now, DevOps has been an integral part of our world today because it bridges the gap between developers and how you move the code of the products that the developers build into production, right? Now, DevOps being one of the top 10 careers to have in this particular year, I believe that it is very important that you are skilled along the lines of continuous integration and continuous delivery. It stands for CI/CD, and it talks a lot about version control. It talks a lot about how a team effort can come together to create multiple products and eventually not only build the product but also deliver it as and when it's created, right? So that's very important. The second skill that you'll have to be really looking forward to in DevOps is test automation, right? Now you will have an entire data pipeline where you will have to automate certain testing paths and certain testing patterns as well. Now, one important thing you really have to know about DevOps is that it is super advantageous in a way where it links up with cloud computing, right? If you're taking a look at the concept of DevOps on the cloud platform, be it in terms of AWS, be it in terms of Azure or even the Google cloud platform, you really have to understand that you're bringing together two of the top 10 domains, and it definitely is going to add a lot of value there, right? So yes, DevOps on cloud is an in-demand skill. In fact, it's a very trending skill in DevOps, and I highly suggest you guys look at that. Right? Fantastic. Number 9 on the list, we have digital marketing. I think with respect to digital marketing, it becomes super important that you always find new ways, creative methodologies, and trying something different, trying something new, trying something novel in a way where it will either work or you can see some insights, trackable metrics and all of that, right? So to do all of that, to get to that point, you definitely require these 3 skills as they are in demand this particular year, right? The first skill we'll be talking about is design principles, creating a good user experience and ensuring that you have a fantastic user interface where you will want more and more people to engage with your product or service is super important here, right? And not only that, another thing which is becoming very popular on the lines of digital marketing is a content management systems, something like WordPress, right? Now, a lot of people are working from home, a lot of people are learning from home, so it becomes super popular wherein they're trying to start their own brand, they're trying to create their own company or whatever it is. In that aspect as well, that is where CMS has seen an extremely large scale increase in demand. So not only that along with the generic market of in the entire world of digital marketing as well, this is where this skill kind of shows itself, right? And then digital marketing, an unconventional way which is pretty much developing right now, is to make sure that you have very good marketing automation, not just powered or macros created by human beings, but at the same time you will have the power of artificial intelligence in the domain of digital marketing itself, right? We already have bridged the gap in the terms of sentiment analysis and of course a lot more as well, where AI driven metrics will help marketing. But then right now in the year 2021, the third point that you see there, the third and the second point, of course, these are the most in demand skills for digital marketing roles, be it on any level of proficiency, right? So this is digital marketing. Now coming to data analysis. Data analysis is an ocean on its own, right? If you take a look at what you can do with respect to data analysis, there is a lot. Now coming to the skill sets required for data analysis, the first thing which we really have to get out of the way is in-depth knowledge of SQL, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just working knowledge of SQL, but in-depth knowledge of SQL. And of course, SQL comes with multiple flavors as well. There is Transact SQL, it's also called as TSQL, and of course as MySQL, and a lot of other variants of working with the language itself, right? Or databases which are associated with that. So you're going to require some effort there. And then when you're taking a look at data analysis in general, the first thing that usually comes up is two programming languages, which is basically Python or R programming language. So these programming languages are key. I want to say that they are foundational into the domain of data analysis as well. So if you guys are picking up on data analysis, make sure you're spending some time on this. Now, if you take a look at data analysis in the year 2021, you will see a very common trend with respect to business intelligence, right? Or BI skills. A lot of developers across the globe and a lot of companies across the globe have started, implementing BI tools to see what metrics they can drive and what insights they can obtain. On those lines, two tools stand out a lot, right? It is Tableau and or Microsoft's offering, which is Power BI. Now, these two tools are used to create beautiful looking dashboards, and ensuring that you have fantastic results as an end of your analysis is equally important as much as the result. Hence, these skills are in top demand today. Right? Fantastic. All right, guys. Now on number 7, we have app development or application development. Now this is a very, very interesting domain, because at the moment in the period of 2021 to somewhere around 2022, you will see a lot of changes across all platforms, right? Because new Android versions are coming out every single year. iOS has new updates. Eventually Windows 11 is also being announced this month apparently. And of course, Mac OS gets its new version. So whenever you have new platforms that are being put out, it becomes super important that you understand the requirement eventually, because if you can bridge the gap that exists between the requirement and the job, you can definitely have access to that fantastic career in the domain of application development as well, right? But then one very, very important skills, if you are looking forward to becoming a developer, a software developer on the lines of creating your own apps and services, you are going to require some good amount of knowledge of how to handle data in the backend, right? Now handling data in the backend comes pretty much common to all the domains out here, but it has to be specifically mentioned here because applications do use a lot of data, right? And not only this, building and working with APIs, of course, this has to be another foundational thing with respect to application development, which again is surprisingly one of the top skills asked. Now, I am not surprised because I have been into software development before, but then I am really happy to see that people developing, building and using APIs right now has skyrocketed, right? It's a huge convenience in the world of application development. But then look at the third skill, ladies and gentlemen. The third skill talks about thorough knowledge of C# and .NET architecture. Of course, if you're a person who's looking forward to building applications, maybe in the Windows domain or in fact anywhere in the Microsoft architecture, be it even on the cloud platform, I think it's very important for you to understand and use a programming language like C# and of course with an architecture such as .NET, right? Fantastic. Coming to number 6 now. Number 6, we have project management. Project management has blown up in the year 2021 for sure, right? Wherever you take a look at it, no matter what domain you would want to sort of use all these techniques that are mentioned in project management, it will fit everywhere, right? So when we say, there's no one solution that's going to fit all these problems, but project management is one of these domains where it will at least try to help as much as possible to, have better modular processes, increase efficiency and all of that. Now to get to that point, you're going to require some core skills, right? The first thing you really have to know is all the management approaches that we have, right? You might have learned of, you might have heard of agile, you might have heard of waterfall, you might have heard of lean, and there are many other terms such as this. If you're a person who doesn't know project management, these are some of the most important approaches that you have to consider when you're working with projects, right? It's really important. And it's not only that, with more client and provider communication happening, risk assessment and management has become key in today's world, because there's a lot of data that will be moving around to assess the risk, to ensure that delivery happens on time, and to make sure that you not only maintain your entire project, but also take a look at things such as project budgeting, as in how much the project will cost, and the entire planning around that. And when you go on to plan as well, you'll have to look a little towards the future. So you're gonna have the skill set where you're gonna be looking at forecasting the budget and a lot more things ahead, right? So these three skills are really important for project management. Now, after project management, on number 5 on this list, we have Microsoft Azure. Now, Microsoft Azure happens to be one of the world's fastest growing cloud computing providers today. Now, if you take a look at the trends that Azure has portrayed over the last couple of years, it is mostly side by side with respect to AWS. And in fact, as we are talking right now, I believe that Microsoft Azure is adding so many services in a rapid fashion that it definitely has the ability to overtake AWS. And in many of the domains, if you have seen, it has, right? So all the companies who might be using AWS, or all the companies who might be using another cloud platform or on-premise architecture, they are looking forward to making a switch to Microsoft Azure. Now, when that requirement is huge, we're basically talking about server migration. So you need to have the knowledge of how you can go on to migrate an on-premise architecture take it into the cloud, or of course, if you have if the company is already having an architecture with another cloud provider, you have to look at migrating it towards Azure as well, right? That's an important skill. Once you've worked on all of that, the next thing that is really in demand right now with respect to Azure is application scaling and how you can work on traffic management. So these are some of the key things that people who are hiring for these careers are looking forward as well, right? So if you can bridge this gap, you can definitely aim for higher paying roles in this domain as well. And then with respect to Azure, there are many job roles that are created, right? Be it on the lines of all the compute architecture, all the things that you can do with respect to compute on the cloud platform. You can do a lot with respect to storage. You definitely need proficient experts in terms of network, and of course you're going to require security as well, right? Now, all these methodologies, it is impossible for one person to become a thorough master of each and everything in all of these things. So the most important skill you have to analyze here is to find out which is your favorite destination, which is your favorite route to take, to navigate across Microsoft Azure, and what you would like to work on the cloud. Based on that, these skill sets you can filter down and definitely make use of them to skyrocket your career in the year 2021, right? Fantastic. Coming on to number 4, we have cybersecurity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, cybersecurity, be it in 2021 or be it another 100 years after now, definitely, if things progress the way it is, we have to always make sure that we are one-upping our game with respect to cybersecurity, right? Because whenever you're taking a look at data security and data integrity, the entire world now look towards that in a way where we definitely want to prioritize this, right? Data has to be secure, and we have to make sure that there is no unauthorized access, there's no leakages or whatever it is. So what are some of the skills that recruiters are looking for in the year 2021? So with respect to cybersecurity, again, I believe that we're bringing in more and more intelligent methodologies and ways to analyze and have metrics in a way where you can not only track application data, but also you can have a firewall, and you can manage entire network protocols, as in how your data moves, where where it is moving from. You can play around with multiple nodes and all of that. Alongside this, there is another important requirement here, ladies and gentlemen. So it's basically you trying to assess and understand investigative methods, and of course there are a lot of forensic tools which require a lot of research as well, right? So make sure that you guys are working on these if you're looking forward to having a career in cybersecurity. Now, these two skills are definitely not enough. There's another third skill. This is considered as a core skill and requirement in today's world, right? So having proficiency in IAM, or is also called as identity and access management, as the name itself suggests, it speaks about identifying a person and seeing and assessing if this person should have access to all the data or not. A new employee joining into the company cannot have direct access to the servers, right? There may be many things which this person may or may not work with or require as well. So there's no point in giving access to those proprietary files as well, right? So there's a lot of train of thought that goes on into this, and especially for you guys who are looking forward to progressing in your career really quick, these skills are a must. Right now, coming on to the top three, right? On the number three spot, we have deep learning, and I think you shouldn't be surprised that this is on the number three spot here, right? So one important thing about deep learning that you really have to know, and you might have already noticed this, is the fact that this is a domain that is trickling into all the other domains as well. As in, it will find a place in another domain, and it will improvise the processes that exist in that domain. Now, when it is that case, you really have to understand that deep learning will work fantastically well everywhere, right? Be it digital marketing, be it DevOps, be it cloud computing, be it project management, be it in terms of testing, be it cybersecurity. That is something you really have to know. But then to get to that point, these are some of the core skills that are required. Firstly, it has to be TensorFlow, right? So creation and analysis of deep learning models are the most important skills for a deep learning expert. So of course, this should be a requirement. And then take a look at the next two core skills, right? So if you're talking about natural language processing, or it's also called as NLP in short, right now, again, this is a super trending concept, right? You might have seen chatbots, you might have, of course, used assistants like Google, Siri, and all of that, right? So mostly on those lines and creating chatbots, and of course, there's a lot of these things that you can do with respect to NLP that is blowing up real quick this year, right? And then recruiters are also looking forward to this other concept and merge it along with deep learning, where they're trying to implement, applied RPA. So when I say RPA, I basically mean robotic process automation. Now, that is a process which is where we are almost automating what we would do manually, but then now we are making that process even more intelligent by making use of deep learning and neural networks, right? So these are some of the key skills, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. Now that we've taken a look at number three, coming on to number two, it has to be Python programming, right? Python is the top programming language in the world today. If you take a look at it, there are millions and millions and millions of Python developers across the globe. So there is not only a lot of competition here, but one more thing is that Python is used again in literally every single domain, even in healthcare. Now, when that is the particular case, you have to understand that the skill set, of course, is going to be widespread as well, right? So if you're a person who's looking forward to working with web development in Python, you are going to require proficiency with respect to frameworks such as Beautiful Soup, Django, and a lot more. But then one thing that comes common, the skill that really is required by every Python programmer right now that is needed in the industry, is version controlling and source code management. It speaks about how you will have multiple versions of the code, and eventually it will bring you to an architecture where you will understand how to work with version controlling systems such as Git and a lot more, right? And then take a look at the last thing. It says ORM, or object relational mapping skills. Now, object relational mapping is another fantastic concept, and if you've taken a look at it, you will usually find this word ORM thrown around a lot, especially in the year 2020, right? And there's multiple reasons for that, and you really have to understand that it really shines up when we go on to use Python to use these skill sets, and of course these concepts to eventually build an application, right? The amount of effectiveness, the amount of efficiency we get out of using these skills in our application is one of the most important reasons of why even ORM skills are required for a Python programmer, right? So this is something you really have to keep in mind. And once we have taken a look at Python programming, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one domain where we'll be talking about all the skill sets that's needed here, right? Take a look at artificial intelligence for a second, because artificial intelligence is literally everywhere around us, right? Be it our phones, laptops, videos that we are watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, no matter where we stay connected to the internet, there is a very good chance that there is an artificial intelligence bot at least doing some thing, right? It's going to have some sort of effect on the application. Keeping that in mind, you have to understand again that this is a domain that can trickle into all the other domains, right? Of course, it's the fastest growing domain in the world today. But then to get to this point, you definitely require three core skills. The first skill has to be programming language skills, ladies and gentlemen. On the lines of Python, R, and Java, yes, Python and R are really, really popular for AI implementation, be it on the lines of TensorFlow or frameworks such as PyTorch, and Java is also on the the list here. So make sure you guys are not missing out on Java with respect to AI as well, right? Now after this, another key skills that is slowly ramping up from 2020 all the way to now, if you've taken a track at researching interviews or understanding what it is that people want for jobs in these domains, applied mathematics, skills along the lines of algebra, and of course statistics are required, right? This might seem like it's a trickle down from data science to AI, but I definitely want to say that to get to this point, we really require these skills, right? Because without applied AI, statistics, or linear algebra, it would almost be impossible to have the level of intelligence that we have today. And then when we're taking a look at AI, two different domains speak out, right? They stand out to the lot. One has to be computer vision, or there's another framework called OpenCV that you might have heard of, where this framework is used for a lot of facial detection applications, or where you're basically making your computer understand images. That's the reason it's called computer vision, right? After this, we're talking about reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a very popular methodology of machine learning, which eventually finds its way across the board towards AI as well, right? So reinforcement learning is how you would go on to train a model by having risks and rewards on the lines as well. So on that note, we have come to the end of this video where we have discussed the top 10 tech skills that you require to upgrade your career in these respective domains in the year 2021, right? Now we took a look at different domains, and we spoke a lot about the core, the foundational, and the fundamental skills that recruiters are looking forward in this particular year. So make sure that you've got all the skills covered, and of course head to the comment section if you have any more skills that you think are vital for that particular domain, right? Fantastic. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Anirudh Rao, and I'll see you on the next one.
I want to introduce you to Great Learning Academy. This is a free initiative by Great Learning where you can have access to over 200 plus courses with 1000 plus hours of free content on all of the trending high demand domains, absolutely free. Register now to complete the course and get your free certificate of completion as well. Check out the link in the description box of the video below for more details. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. This is done to make sure you do not miss out on any of the new updates or video releases from Great Learning. And of course, guys, if you enjoy this video, show us some love and do like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, right? So make sure you share this video with your friends, colleague, and everyone who can make use of it. And at the end of it, make sure to comment on the video if you have any queries or any suggestions, and I'll be more than happy to respond to all of your comments.